presentations to a minimum. We will have plenty of time for that, okay? Okay.
Do you want it recorded as well or just streamed?
Well, the purpose of the recording would be so
To go back
people
and-
in the rooms can see it.
No, recording would you go back and watch it later?
Oh, I don't think we need to record.
Okay,
Let's
so I'll just stream.
Because everybody will have access to the presentation too, because they need the live links in there. Okay?
All right.
Alrighty. So let me first of all start by saying good morning and thank you for coming. It's hard to believe it's St. Patrick's Day because that seems to be so downplayed at this time. But first of all, I just want to thank you for being here and thank you for your patience as information is very rapidly changing, as you've noticed, changes in plans and changes in emails. So I thank you for that patience. What I'd like to do just for a moment here before we get started is to take a moment of gratitude. So if you could turn to a person near you or at your table and just share something that you're feeling good about today. Go
Be grateful for all the help that I'm going to get. Anybody who may or may not get voluntold to help people. Yeah, hopefully a lot of them already did wipe them down. But yeah, I think a lot of them was with the after classroom teacher, but I'm going to have the hard to say anymore now because every part has to have that chord. So done for like their universal and like notes. So I think it's really trying to but I think I'm just going to lay them
And if one, thank you.
There you go.
Hopefully, we can find that brightness through here. We've seen wonderful stories already on the news of great acts of kindness to other folks. I do recall the one on TV just 2 days ago, I think it was, where there was an elderly couple in a car afraid to go into the store, and another woman passing by, and she was shouting out for about 45 minutes and nobody would come over to the car, and this young woman came over to the car and she opened the window just enough to slip out a grocery list, a $100 bill, and said, "Would you get these groceries for me?" And of course, she went in, got the groceries, brought the change back to the family, and they were able to go home and have their things. And it's those random acts of kindness that you see happening that really can feed the soul. So make sure you're recognizing that and taking that time to do that for yourself, for others, and others you love too. So I'm going to tell you the information that we have right now. This information was as of like 2:50 yesterday afternoon. So just want to be cognizant that things are rapidly changing and could change. Even this morning during the presentation, things could change too. So. The elementary principals came together to summarize what we learned yesterday and to put that in a presentation so you have access to that and know what the plan is moving forward. So you'll see there are other principals on this because we developed this plan together. The presentation, not the plan, excuse me. And I do want you to know that your district leaders have been working through the weekend, into the night, just so that we are prepared for what needs to happen.
Mrs. Panning, do you want me to switch the camera now to the presentation?
Oh, thank you. I sure do appreciate that, yes. Can you bring that in tight enough?
Yep, I think so. Yeah, I might have to move my cart.
Where do you want me to go?
No, you're okay. I think we're okay.
Okay, so on this page right here, I I mean, obviously check that email, right? I will also be setting up our call list. Unit leaders, I'm gonna call upon you to make sure that we're reaching out. I think our best method is gonna be through texting, that way you don't have to physically be calling everyone. But if information needs to get out rapidly, we will use that as a means of communication. So today, I'm gonna ask you to make sure that you have every single person's cell phone in your phone program today before you leave here so that you have that information if you need to. Okay? Good reminders for us as we go along. But checking your email, we have up there at least 4 to 8 times daily. Some of you get that to your phone, that's fantastic too. But remember, make sure that you're staying on things that are good sources of information for you so that you're not overwhelmed with that. This is a live link that's right here. This is our district resource page. That is live on our Janesville School District page, and we'll be posting this to our Facebook site too, so that families can go to that. They've asked that we not be sending out information individually as schools to our Facebook. They want us all to be directing our families right back to this district resource page. Something we want to put out there right away. So we're taking this day by day from the district, right? So here's your first piece of information too that you need to know. Everybody's being paid for this week, regardless of the days that you're working. Everybody's getting paid regularly. Everybody gets paid as they would through spring break with a regular schedule. It is undetermined after that point what it will look like. It doesn't mean it's going to change. It doesn't mean it's the same. Just want you to know that we are fine this week and next week, and that's all that's been determined. If there's information that I don't know answers to, I'm going to be honest and just tell you I really don't know that answer. What I'm giving you today is the information that I know. Okay, so this is our plan for Tuesday, so tomorrow. We're going to bag up everybody's individual things, so all of our student materials are all put together. So I cleaned out my garage, and I hope many of you did the same. They bring your bags into school. I will also reach out through our PTO and if they're doing extra all of the devices, which means the charging cords too. All of our devices will be checked out to every one of our students. That will be made available for students to take home. If the parent says, it's okay, we have a charger or we have an iPad at home, or we have a computer at home, we don't need that, we are going to encourage, we'd like you to have all the apps that are on the school iPad. We'd like to have you have all of the extensions that are on the school ones. So we will encourage our families to be taking those with them. If they still say, no, we don't want that, we will respect all that. Okay? Empty all of their cubbies and lockers. Fortunate for us, all of ours are empty. I think there was only maybe one pair of boots that was left. But all of like the gym shoes, the paint shirts, all of that is going to be going home. We'll take a look at our shifts that we're signed up for both today and tomorrow. So at the very end, I'm going to designate Leah, would you remind me, we need to look through that spreadsheet and make sure that we're covered. Thank you. Pressure. I know. We got the back. We got the back. Okay.
Mrs. Fanning, can I just step in? If a parent is going to take a device, it is going to be my recommendation that they must take a cord. That's the only way for me to say who got a cord and who didn't get a cord. If you took a device, you got a cord, because as you know, we don't have extra cords, so I need it to come back. So if they take a device, they must take a cord even if they have one at home. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yep. All right, thanks.
Are we interrupted right now, or is it still going?
Well, I'm gonna find out in a second. They couldn't read it, so I'm like, gotta get it up in everybody's grill here. Should I move? Only if you can't see.
Out of our cart,
Are we taking the cords out of our cart?
Yes.
right now.
I just gave them inside the cart.
Okay,
Yeah, but
I'm gonna go ahead and continue on.
Yes, is it answer, that's my job today,
Anything
is to
that
take.
is left over in
Sure.
your room, you know how you sometimes keep those leftover breakfast items? All of those need to be sent with children tomorrow. Do not keep anything. If the kids do not want to take them, we will throw them out. Our EL, Carmen and I are gonna work to make sure that all of our families are getting that information and understand the information. This is where we're going to be talking about prep for room. We'll talk a little bit more about that. And then all of our opportunities we're giving to students are enrichment opportunities. I'm gonna say that again. All of the opportunities that we are giving for students, bless you. Or me to talk louder, you got it. I'm gonna come a little bit closer if that's okay. All of the things that we're providing for students are enrichment activities. That is very important that we know that these are not things that we're holding kids accountable for. They will not be graded on. It is opportunities that families can take advantage of. There's also implications for special ed. If that were the case, if we were to go online, we also have to follow through with what needs to be done for any IEP. That would require us going to their home and potentially bringing what we have into their home or vice versa. So please note that it is not as just easy as saying, we're gonna go online. We're not even ready for that step, even if we were. So, teachers and anybody that has signed up for your room for support, this is what we need to do. And I do have to do a little bit of reworking because we need to have all of the classrooms done too. So, like we need to be cognizant of art and music to make sure that those rooms are ready to go. And then a little bit in our FIAD office as well too. But all of these things at the top there need to be cleared off. Desks, tables, chairs, benches, ledges, counters, anything that you could possibly set something on, it needs to be off. Chairs need to stay down so that those can be sanitized. Your bulletin boards can stay just how they are. Anything on your own desk, clear off. If you have artwork, let's say you know where your sink is, and there's like student artwork, make sure you take that down because that potentially is gonna be sprayed and ruined. No, nope, that's not near a counter. That's a good question, I had that same one yesterday. So anything that could, if it's near a flat surface that's gonna be sanitized, it has the potential of just being ruined. So just, as you're walking through and you see that, note that. And then all labels off desks and lockers. So I think the best solution there, you're walking through the cubby, you take off Johnny's name, you put it on Johnny's bag, all the treasures go in that bag.
Where does the stuff go that we take off all the time? Like on the ground?
Yep, you have to find any, not in the desk, desks have to be cleared out.
Inside?
We're not
So,
gonna,
let's, hang on, let's just get, let me just tell you a few things. We are packing up children's desks so that they have every single material that they could ever possibly need. They have access to that at their home. So every single child's material, you're putting inside their bag so they have access to that at home. So, let's say, for example, I'm not sure. I have this bucket of crayons that are community crayons. You can ask yourself, what would I do with this at the end of the school year? If the answer is, I would donate this to the art room, don't send it with kids. If you have a child's, 3 erasers on your desk because they were building a fort with it. What would I do with this at the end of the year? I would send it with the child, then put it in the child's bag. If you're in doubt, ask yourself, what would I do with this at the end of the year? If you have 3 boxes of Kleenex left over, there are 3 kids' names on it and you haven't gotten to those 3, what would I do at the end of the year? Oh, I keep this for next year. Or I donate to the art, music, and PE. Then don't send it with the children. So when you find yourself in doubt, ask yourself that question. So I'm going to say this. Everything that a child has that they have brought, we want them to have access to. Now, the question that comes to my mind, what about the student math journals? Because we're only providing them enrichment, at this moment in time, I am saying keep that at school. I'm very, very worried that those would not make it back in a few weeks.
Not in the desk, right?
Not in the desk, thank you.
What about textbooks?
Textbooks, no, I would not send those home because that's
Select
the
those?
expectation, yes. You just keep them in your room though. The expectation is that they're doing enrichment. Not that they're doing, you know, chapter 4 on solids and you want them to be making ice cubes at home. Not that ice cubes are bad, but that's it. Yes.
Library books, turn them in.
Library books, if they're in their desks, keep them. If they have them at home, we're not telling them to bring them back because we want them to have access.
What about book bids?
And Bobby, she's on it. Book bids, keep them here.
At the end of the year, like, we had sent out that message, like, asking families what they wanted to do with those supplies. Just make a decision on our own. Just,
Well-
would they want it, wouldn't they? Because that's what was dictating, like, if we were sending it or not, you know?
Yeah, we're not, we have to really take that out of the equation.
Okay, so just make a
Because
choice.
we could be right back here in
Yeah.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
I say we could be back here in 3 weeks. So, we're not even gonna make that call right now.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions on student treasures?
One last thing, like, the bottom shelves of bookcases, should we push that stuff up? Is like the floor, you know, like open bookcases, like we've got all of our resources and stuff, like right along the baseboards, like on walls.
If you can, that would be a great
Try to put
idea.
them up like a
Right.
level.
I would say don't make it your first priority,
Okay.
but then I want you to hear this part. Anything that is yours personally, take home. Anything that is yours personally, take home.
What do you mean?
You need
That's
to know
2/3
that
of the
you
room.
might
Right.
not have access to this building until April 6th. We are for sure, after Thursday, if there's anything live in your rooms, crime and Edley, get them home. If you have a fish, which I hope you don't, if you have a plant, I can guarantee I won't be able to keep it living. Get it home.
Yeah, take your Girl Scout.
Someone else in your room.
If you're doing my book study, bring your book home because I might be able to do it online. So you can look at the hours.
So, be prepared physically, mentally, that we will not be permitted, except for me and the custodians, into this building at the earliest, March 35th. That's the Monday, right? Okay. That is the earliest we're coming back in.
So those things of ours that are not our personal items, files, et cetera, that are in our desks, inside our desks. cleared
Those
out?
are, no, those are fine.
Those are fine.
Yep. But for example, I have some tchotchkes. No, that's not a good example, because I don't need those. I have my dissertation work here. I need to take that home for very good reasons, right? Wednesday. Wednesday is gonna be so important that we do not let any of us go down the rabbit hole. Please, 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 do not engage in that rabbit hole discussion with families. We want to be sympathetic, we want to be empathetic, we want to know that perhaps I have fears of my own, but we need to make sure that we have that kind, respectful, helpful, loving, warm, welcoming attitude. It's gonna be hard, or we can't be shaking hands, can't be giving hugs.
What do we say when a kid goes into the hug?
Goes
Pretend like the next
Then you
boyfriend.
say, give me an elbow bump.
We
or
just
air
say,
hug.
oh, virtual high five.
Yeah, right.
Air hug.
Air
Don't
hugs,
say
air high
I
fives.
can't
Air
at
hugs.
this time.
Foot bumps.
It's gonna be so hard. We'll do some air hugs.
Okay.
Some really good.
So, I'm not quite sure why empty all refrigerators is on Wednesday, unless maybe you wanna eat tomorrow. Maybe starting on it today, but every refrigerator, I think with the exception of the pop refrigerator in the lounge, is gonna have to be empty.
What do you want us to do with all the ice packs?
Should we eat all the chocolate?
Well, we're not
Eat all the ice cream today,
Gotcha.
and the
I can
ice
do that.
packs, ice packs have to go, yeah.
Garbage?
I can't remember the name of it.
Oh, that's sad. I know.
There's so much wood. So much wood.
Those kids.
Okay, let me go ahead and keep moving through. Take home personal stuff, here we are. So March 30, you will not have access. Now, let's say you're at home and you're in a pinch and I left, I'm gonna go easy, my medication at school. Call me, I will make sure I get it for you, okay? I'm gonna be here Thursday and Friday. Ron, Judy, and Jim will be here Thursday, Friday, and all next week. If you're in a pinch, call us. Do not come in the building. Okay, so all your personal things, all of that is there for you, so you know exactly what to do. Anything, any extras that you have plugged in, unplug those. Questions about that part?
I think so.
Okay. If you haven't taken that survey, it is required. Please make sure you do take that survey. And, for example, on Thursday morning last week, we changed our plans from just Tennessee to Tennessee and Florida. Thursday came, Friday happened, I retook the survey again. I'm no longer going to Tennessee or Florida. And now, there's not even a way to get to Tennessee or Florida without hitting Illinois. Unless you use planes, trains, and automobiles. So, there is a travel letter in there that came out from Scott Garner. What is being directed by Rock County Health Department, if you go into these areas, that is a commission site, on the very last day of your return. So if it is still commission site and you're like, oh, I'm getting out of Dodge, you're gonna have to self-quarantine for 14 days. We will be required to use our sick days. You can use bank sick days. But that is being directed by Rock County, that you would have to self-quarantine for 14 days. It is our collective responsibility to make sure we are taking care of ourselves, our families, and our community. People are looking to us as educators, all of us, to be those leaders with us. We do have an online learning portal. This is going to be the one place that we send our families to. Please do not, I forget I have to be louder. Please do not put other information on Google Classroom, onto Dojo, onto whatever form. If you have items that you want to put out there, Shelly Guard is our go-to. You can make your own slide, but then you must send it to her. She is going to be the one to manage all of that. We want one collective location for our families to go to. We don't want to be sending messages through every possibility. They are enrichment. May-dos, definitely not must-dos. This portal will go live on Thursday, so there's still work being done on this. It goes through April 6th. After that, we'd have to reevaluate our plan. New resources will be added each week. And as a side note, there are no special ed meetings after Wednesday. I know Bobby is working fiercely to get some of these done today, tomorrow. Tanya, do you have any scheduled today or tomorrow? Tomorrow. And where's Brenda? Brenda, do you have any scheduled today and tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Okay. So, like when we look at where we're putting our resources to help with that, definitely want to consider these folks as we have to get those meetings done for them too. So if you've got a question that's not a burning one for them, please give that space so that they can prep for those meetings. Yes?
Maybe you already addressed it. Is that information going home via the district, like that portal part?
Yes.
We don't even have to like
Yes.
say anything about that?
Great question. Oops, sorry. So all of this information, all being communicated by the district. We want to make sure that we don't overload information, and we want to make sure that our families are reading that information. So if we were going to start sending our own, and every school did their own interpretation and sent that message out, we know how telephone works, right? If we filter what needs to be sent home, then not all families get all the message, nor do they have the exact message.
And that's through email? Like just if we want to like just say, check your email type deal? Or is that like?
Ask me that again.
So they're getting this message via email? That's how parents
They'll
are?
get it, email, through social media, yep, Infinite Campus.
Okay,
for sure. But that goes into their email. Which is another reason why Carmen and I are gonna double check to make sure that our families are getting that info. Okay, so food for children. Starting this Thursday, and this is continuous. Now, Jim Deegan told us yesterday, they have waivers, plan, resources, and food to last even into September if they needed to. So, they have taken a huge chunk of money and resources to make this possible. So, usually we wouldn't be providing lunch and breakfast during our spring break time because we shut down. That's still going to happen, so it will be continuous. So starting this Thursday, families can pick up between 11 and 1 at these sites. They pull up in their car, 6 children in the car, let's say. They hand them those 6 meals. It's any age children under 18. You do not have to be in the school district of Janesville. You do not have to be more than a day old. Any age, 18 and under. So we did have a question that people wanted to do something and weren't quite sure what we can do. And so they said, yes, staff could be at a location to be a welcoming face. But at this point, they're gonna make sure that their employees are hired to be working and they're trained on how to do that too. Each child needs to be present, but an adult does not need to be with them. So you can walk up or you could drive up.
So they need some volunteers between the hours of 11 and 1, not necessarily before that, or do they need before that?
No volunteers are needed at this time.
Oh.
A principal did ask though if my staff just wants to be there. So when a car pulls up, like, because our school is not one of them.
Right.
So our kids might not know any of the staff that are working at Jefferson. But if somebody wanted to be that face, be like, hey, yeah, I saw that's Kennedy, I know that person. You're welcome, but nobody is being asked at this time. Okay. So here it is, stop shaking hands. Wash your hands profusely. The not shaking hands is really hard for me. No hugging is really hard for me. I can't tell you how many times my fingers have cracked at the sides now from how dry they are.
So bad.
But wash, 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 wash. There'll be no charge if you're seen through Dean and or Mercy, and you will be treated as a preventative visit if you go in and present with any of the symptoms. Yes, what are the symptoms? We've got that on here for you. The preference is a virtual visit. We don't want you going and being exposed to others while you're there. And there are the links for those virtual visits. The CDC and the WHO are the two places or sites that are good quality information. There is a scam. It looks like it's coming from Johns Hopkins. Please, please, please be cautious. At time of crisis, there are, unfortunately, some people who will take advantage of that. So please, please, please be leery. Okay? If you have FMLA, are going on FMLA, are on it right now, which you wouldn't be here, there's a link right there. But anytime you have questions about that, please call Tina Johnson. I am not the person to answer those types of questions. I am not the person to answer insurance questions.
Is Jamie Brown the FMLA person?
Jamie Brown does that, but also Tina, so you can speak with either. And then there is a link to those prevention diagnosis. But I do want to show you what the symptoms are, because I think it's important that we recognize what those are. Is that large enough? Runny nose, common cold. The corona pneumonia is a dry cough with no runny nose. Important to keep in mind, if someone sneezes, what is our recommendation? 6 feet? And if it goes 10 feet, super important you're covering that. Sneeze right into your sleeve, but also make sure that you have that nose completely covered, because sneezes are exceptionally powerful. If it drops on metal surface, it will live for at least 12 hours, and metal, it is potentially up to 9 days. If you come into contact with it, make sure you're washing with bacterial soap. Wash, wash, wash. Take your 20-second wash. Wash, wash, wash. On fabric, it can live for 6 to 12 hours. Washing your clothes is the best option for that. You do not have to dip it in ammonia or bleach. Your regular laundry detergent will do it. Do you know that drinking warm water is effective for viruses? Do not drink something with ice cubes in it. So, more coffee for everyone. Let's see here. So, washing your hands, as the virus can only live on your hands for 5 to 10 minutes, but think about, oh my gosh. Think about all the things that can happen in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, gargle. Gargling with warm salt water is a really good way. And drink water, water, water. Use those new bottle filling stations. They're so awesome. Okay, so it first sits in your sore throat. You have a sore throat lasting 3 to 4 days. And then blends into a nasal fluid that enters the trachea and the lungs, causing pneumonia. This takes about 5 or 6 days further after that. Comes with high fever and difficulty breathing. The nasal congestion, this is kind of important to remember because the moment you wake up stuffy or sniffly, that's where our head goes to, right? It is not like the normal kind though. When you wake up, you're like, oh, I'm a little stuffed up, I gotta get in the shower, kind of break this all up. But if it feels like you're drowning in your own head, that's when you need to get medical care. These are there we go. There's your flow chart. Everything's linked right in here. Okay. The important message to hear is we will not abandon our students. If this goes beyond April 6th, we will reassess. So this is why it's so important to check those emails, check the email, check the email. Okay? Now on spring break, you are on break. I would still recommend checking it. However, that week after spring break, starting that March 30, definitely be on your email every day, several times a day. Because we don't know what it will look like after April 6th. And the information is rapidly changing. By the way, if you remember this, you probably remember it without the color. And if you don't remember this,
So sweet.
you missed out. So for those folks who don't know what I'm talking about, TV didn't happen all the time.
No.
It used to stop.
It did. That's a true story.
Yeah, oh right, and then it was done. And so if you woke up during the middle of the night, you had nothing to look at. Yeah. And by snow, she means on the black and white TV, it was snow. All right, so this is the time. Bobby, do we have questions that came in?
We answered if teachers had to clean up the inside of their desk. That was a no, just the surface. We answered, do we need to clear off bookshelves? It was if we have time and feel that we can do that. Anything that's yours, personally take it home, no admittance to the building. And then, is this information being shared by teachers or district? And that's the district through Shelley Gard, campus email, etc.
Are there other questions that we have either in the room or those of you that are watching it in the classrooms? I did share out the staff meeting FAQs, and if you're in a classroom right now but you don't have access to a computer, please feel free to come by the LMC door, wave one of us to the door, and we'll walk over there to you to help you out with those questions you might have. So questions here in the room. We'll go both Wagner, then Stenson.
Regarding tomorrow, like, let's say you have like an influx of people like all at once, is there like a procedure for how we're
I'll be
planning
at
on
the door and I'll
accommodating
help with
that?
that.
Okay. You go wait over there. You get back in your car. No.
So
You
ideally,
terrible.
what I'd like to do, and remember these are just my thoughts out loud right now, things could change by tomorrow. So put this all in writing, is that kindergarten, we have you stationed with tables out in the hallway. You pick up your bag and you go. You don't stop for a hug. You don't go to your room to see what it looks like. You pick up your bag and you go. We'll have those classroom doors shut. I'm almost thinking about taking the snugglies off so that we don't go in there. Because we're just gonna be stationed out at tables. Here is your bag. I'll see you in 3 weeks. Virtual high five.
And your device card at this time will be located near your classroom with the device in there and then cords.
Ready to go.
Undo the
And
cord
remember,
at
that
that
is
time? Prior.
No, it's all
Prior.
happening today.
Okay,
So
yeah,
that
perfect.
month and a couple other tech people are already starting on some cards, so yeah.
Okay.
As far as that goes too, like, is there going to be a, like, way for them to safely transport that, like, home, or are they just like
The way
doing
to
like what,
safely
yeah, like what they do
transport,
with it, like?
The iPads are already in their carts. The Chromebooks do not have cases, and Dr. Smiley is okay with that.
Okay.
So, okay, hang on just a second. We're sending the Chromebooks as is, and the charging cord as is. Great, thanks, sir.
So this is probably a very irrelevant question, so we'll continue to change, but have they talked about at all, like, what the plan is to make up the time that we have missed?
So right now, we're actually applying for a waiver for that time missed, but we do not know an answer at this time.
So the waiver would just be like, you just don't have to?
Yes.
Okay. I was just curious.
The DPI, goes to the DPI, there was the school districts can send.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Shelley?
Can I just speak to the technology piece a little bit, just for a second?
Absolutely.
So the parents will be signing a waiver. I'll have those printed today, and then a stack of them on the cards with your devices. If you could do me a huge favor, because, you know, again, I think we'll all be helping, put a list of the student name and device number on your card. I don't know who has number 7, who has number 8, but if we can get it back to the right kid, it's probably already logged in. Another thing, if you could, I'm going to send out the password list. It was updated, I don't know, probably maybe a month ago, so unless you've gotten a new student in the last month, all your students should be on there. If not, you could look them up because I feel like it's gonna be important to send home their username and password, because once they get home and forget, it's a little too late. Another thing, with that, IXL, so we are fortunate to have reading and math IXL. I don't know if they're gonna extend that. They do have a social studies and science program. If they end up rolling that out for free, that would be huge. I mean, that's a huge curriculum piece if anybody wants to do that enrichment. You can go in, I cannot do this for you, but your classes are already pre-made in IXL, and you can print student login cards that you just cut apart and that we can again give them. So ideally, if we could give them their IXL password, because it is a little bit different, and if we can give them their username and passwords with their device, that would be super helpful. It's But they have to log in at least initially, you know, instead of them saying, because it's a little bit different, they don't have the period in their name in IXL, but they do have the same password, but it is a little different, so, you know, they can always access it through the LMC page. I have that linked in there as well. The LMC page has great links to lots of things.
Like that, I don't know if you know this or not, but like, is Symbaloo included on, like, for, like, that district thing, or is that something?
That's just our LMC page, so they'll always have
So like,
access
we
to
could
the
just say like,
Just go to the Kennedy
okay.
LMC page if you want, yeah. Access to typing club, or, you know, the kids know kind of too, the older kids that are, I think that are gonna use that stuff.
Shelley, is the waiver kind of like our technology agreement, like parents are signing off that they're?
I haven't seen it yet,
Oh,
so I
okay.
can't really speak to that. Oh, Wi-Fi is another thing. Shelley Gard is going to be putting together how they can access, right now Charter and one of the other ones are offering that for free for students, so they're gonna have that information too, so if anybody asks about that, and then Jennifer, I'd asked her this morning about, like, anybody says, oh, what happens if my kid drops it and breaks it, I don't wanna take it. At this time, there is no, plan, yes, for reimbursement, so if it happens, it happens. Chromebooks, of course, are already under the plan anyway, so.
The iPads are done.
Will the waiver and information about accessing Wi-Fi be in Spanish?
She's working on that right now. Yep,
Okay.
he's translating right now.
Perfect.
Thanks for asking. Carmen, will you come see me so I can get those
Yep.
for whoever needs?
Yes.
Where would you like us to put classroom or like student textbooks, like if we have 2 math journals?
In your room.
But where? Like if
In
we
your
have-
room. Have you ever opened up a cupboard and said nothing else can go in there, and yet you stuffed 8 things in there? You got those going in your room.
Have you been in Buckman's room?
Listen, Monica, take all your personal stuff, get the lock off of that cupboard and shove more in. Maybe there might be room, in the steam room in the cupboard.
Yeah.
Ron?
Or Shorty's room, like in our neighborhood.
Okay,
And you can say you did.
Ron has a question.
Save it.
Thank you.
We will be spot cleaning carpets with the carpet jet board. So if you're not sure, you can ask me and we can find a spot in your room for the books. That type of thing, if they're absolutely full. Cause we're gonna be spraying and sanitizing everything, but we won't be waxing floors. And, it's gonna be spot cleaning carpets, stuff like that. This isn't 90 days of where we have that kind of time. So.
As far as you know.
Fair enough, but that's what we're gonna deal with right now. That way, it doesn't have to be that extensive as far as putting your books away like that. We'll get them sprayed and sanitized and it'll be clean.
Bobby?
Question was, you had mentioned like kindergarten will be outside their doors, so do you want teachers to use tables from the commons and put them outside their classrooms? You're gonna set that up where we put all the kids' materials?
So Ron and I will have tables laid out. So far, I've got a plan for kindergarten and 1st and 2nd grade written down. Now, I think we've got enough room there. My concern with 3, 4, and 5, as I look down this hallway, to get bodies, bags, tables, and then families is tight. There's only one way in and one way out.
Have them go
Now,
out to
the
the
other
stores.
possibility is to set it in, the other possibility is to set it in the blue neighborhood and they're coming in through door 3. Now, there's only one way in there too, but you could, okay, go ahead.
Recess doors, can they exit?
They could exit that way.
Yeah,
Excellent.
that's why I was pointing
We're
like
all
that, is
pointing
to
to
have
that
a
door.
flow.
I had a whole lot of sign language going on. I want to make sure it was a number 1, what you're just telling me.
Yeah.
Have the flow go that way. Same with 5th grade, come in 5, go out 4,
Okay.
if there's a way to get
So we'll
them
work
there.
on those logistics of how to get in and out. Okay, we won't make those decisions right here in this moment. Kate?
Is there a plan, come tomorrow at the end of the day for things that are not picked up?
They will stay here. I am to be in the building so that our community knows that they have access and that I am here. So it is possible that somebody says, I left Steve's bag there. Great, I'm here, head on over, I'll get it, and I'll meet you at the front door. Now, I don't want to advertise that for everybody. It would be lovely if 7 to 7 just happens to work out for all of our families. But we know there are going to be families that just cannot simply make that time. And that's what I'm here for on Thursday and Friday.
Can I take, like, the family that I personally know, can I take their stuff to them without them having to come in?
Well, the parent has to sign the waiver.
Okay.
If we have the waiver today, maybe, Shelley, I'm looking to you for guidance on this. If we have the waiver today and we have the parent's signature, could we release it to, like, Deb is primary care for a single family? Could she be the one to take it then if we have the parent sign before she takes it?
So the parent has signed the waiver form, but Deb is actually picking it up and taking. Is that what you're asking?
Right, is that a possibility? Okay, so I'm thinking that there are many of you in here, well, some, that might be the case for. That would be fine. We don't want to put up roadblocks for people. We want to break those down and get them what they need.
One more tech piece that I forgot, I asked Shelley Gard about, like filtering. So I said, you know, hey, obviously when they're at school, these things are filtered. They are putting an app, so if, there's gonna be a special app pushed out to all the iPads, so it will filter. If they delete the app, which they could, the family could do it, student could do it, older student could do it, it won't be filtered anymore. So then, again, that just kind of becomes a burden of the families. To monitor that, I mean, we can't monitor when it's at home, it's just the way it is. The Chromebooks, however, are automatically filtered even if they go home. So that Chromebook is set up as our device and they can only access. The sign-in has changed too, there is no guest anymore. When you sign in, you must sign in with an STU Janesville or a Janesville email only. Anybody else, so like families can't use their personal, kids can't log into their personal emails anymore. That was a change that was just, not because of foresight, but it was just happened to be made on Friday last week.
Other questions?
Who we'd ask if this goes into like the unemployment stage of if we got a part-time job, are we still gonna be able to file for unemployment? Who would we go to for that?
That's gonna be probably through, HR.
Our expectation is here until 4, right, today?
Yes. Or whatever your pair hours are, right?
So if we've done, offer help somewhere else.
So let's go ahead and look at our sign up.
Leo, you're on the reminder, Leo.
To remember. That was touch and go for a minute for me, but I knew I had good. Okay. So, let me get this to view a little bit larger. It's funny because I can hear us laughing on. It's like a time war going.
Yeah. There's like, in case you swear, there's that little delay.
Good job, Shelley. Good news. Me.
Heard that.
Hi, Cindy. So as we look through here, if, especially if you do not have a homeroom, so I'm speaking primarily to our parents, that you have an assignment here. Now, I've noticed too that some folks, even with their own classrooms, are signed up to help support, and I thank you so much for that. I would ask that you have your space, whatever your space is, done first. So, like for example, Danielle and Michelle, I'm thinking of your office space down there, to have that done before dispersing to your areas. We good with that? Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there anybody who is not signed up on here that says, but I don't have a space yet, where should I go? Tanya. Tanya, who do you like the best? Maybe do Tanya, I'm going to ask you to prep your IEPs first. Oh, jeepers, thank you. And we need to cover Chapman's room.
I mean, we'll.
We got her, we got her.
We'll
We can
do,
help out a
we'll
lot
do our
too.
stuff and then we'll both go into her.
Okay, Tanya, can I count on you for, to help in Chapman's if you have time beyond your IEPs?
That was Derek.
So be like, and just doing your room.
So make sure that your space is done and then we disperse to help. Okay? If you find yourself without anything to do, check in with somebody else because we're gonna need that. Okay? I have 2 giant bags full of bags in the office. I noticed there was another huge bucket bag in there too. So let's make,
Yeah, I just,
if
those
you
are mine,
have,
so we'll just send them all.
hang on just a little bit. If you have extras and you don't have kids to pack up, would you just bring them to the office so we have that one central location? And there are some kids where you might need 2 bags. Okay? 'Cause they have lots of food.
I actually started with
Yes.
2 on Friday, so feeling pretty good about it.
So Danielle asked a great question. If there are multiple families, can we arrange it so they're in one spot?
The hard part is the tech, signing the wage, like the tech pieces and they're.
No.
I'm gonna say we're gonna need to send them to their spots. It would be convenient, but I can't ask everybody to do that. And as it is, we're just in one building. So I feel good about that. Yes?
Just random, like if a parent doesn't come and pick up stuff, where does it go?
So, no, I'm gonna ask that it all stays on the table, that way I know where to go to.
Okay.
And I say they sign a tech agreement per device, just so that way, again, it's helping us keep track that that device did get taken off that cart. Because again, it's gonna be really hard for me to manage. I am gonna check them out to every single, well, actually, that's right, that's the other part, I forgot. Sarah and I, she doesn't know this yet, but Sarah are starting out, yeah, Sarah had her name on somewhere else, and I'm like, I texted her last night, I'm like, yeah,
Take
no,
your
we're
name
going to
off.
technology column, so, Sarah and I are gonna come around, and we will actually have their library cards, and so again, it'll be important for you to have that sheet on your cart, for us, so I know what device goes with what kid, because we're gonna take their library card, and we're gonna actually check that device out to them. Good. So now it's checked out. If anything doesn't get taken, then we can check it back in, we know, so that's like a double check system between the agreement and Destiny if they have their device with them.
Let's look on Wednesday. I was hoping this was naturally gonna work out. Here's the deal, we need a teacher to represent at the 7 to 1 and the 1 to 7. So, as I look through here, oh dear. Brenda, I hope you can do one of the times, because you're not on here for EC. Which one do you want?
Well, I have an issue from the 7 to 1 because I'm doing IEPs. So it's gonna have to be the 1 to 7. I started IEP.
You know what, I think you and I should talk later.
Okay, because I
Good
start at
deal.
7:45.
Okay, kindergarten. Looks like we have, kindergarten worked out beautifully. Thank you. First grade, are we good?
Yep.
Second grade,
They had signed up first, so I guess it depends on
Okay.
how they would like to go.
So
Jen's
Johnson
gonna
or
try to be
I can switch
here in the
you.
afternoon. Chapman is gonna try if she gets back home in time, but
so Siegel, I can put you in the afternoon?
Yep, that's
And then who can I move to the
do you want
morning?
morning or you want afternoon?
Doesn't matter. You pick.
This is for morning, ready? Okay, all right, your morning.
You guys.
We teach second grade. They're like, you solved the problem.
Get things done.
You're in the box, will you click out of it?
You took fourth grade?
I didn't realize that there was
Yeah,
2
because
days.
Tuesday's next to mine.
In the box, I was just
You
looking
are,
at the sheet.
on first.
Do you want us parents to take shifts in here?
That
Just
actually
saying,
probably works
I
out
sit
better.
first next to mine and then you
Jeremy.
you'll still be here.
We don't have to.
Jeremy can drop him back off.
So what are we gonna do?
Okay, third grade, it's worked out. Fourth grade, oh jeepers. You're talking to your colleagues, not me, right? You're all good? Okay. Riley, excuse me. Russert.
Johnson should be on
No, you can take me off too.
there. You're on there still?
I'm on the top.
Somebody else is in the box. You won't make a rush down there. You probably can.
She could sign up for one of these.
I can do it. I did get your text, thank you.
Classic grade in a minute, just to class, I don't want to have to.
Fifth grade. Okay. She was planned out today already. Technology, we've got Cress and Hookham. Office, Van Binster, Gergetz. Okay, so if you don't know where you're gonna be tomorrow, if you're not signed up in a location, sign yourself up for tomorrow. And I mean, we can always use people in the office. I do wanna tell you that, I don't know if Sherry will be here tomorrow. There is somebody who has a fever in the home. So out of respect to all of you, she's not here today. So it's gonna be a little tricky. So Kim doesn't know this yet, but I'm probably gonna call upon her for a whole lot of help because I do wanna put some communication out.
Thank you, Kim.
But if this sounds crazy for me to ask this at all, but if you could keep the office questions to a minimum so that we can get those things done to be ready for you tomorrow too. I know that sounds like I'm asking a lot. Yes, ma'am.
Do you want the paras to fill in some of these slots?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Do
we work our normal hours tomorrow or?
Nope, we're either gonna pick one of those shifts, but I'm gonna say, because Julie, you have 4.4 hours? 4 hours.
Yes.
So if Julie were to work the 1 to 7, she would work 1 until 5.
So you work
Because
your
that's
number of
what-
hours.
Yeah.
But starting at the beginning of the shift.
You work a shift, but you're not working 1 to 7, you're working your number of hours.
Do you want,
But
but
G-
starting at that time? At 7, yes.
For fifth grade.
Move our hours. Adjust them. So
No, I've got to respect what the district asked. So a great question, should we shift our hours to help with that coverage? I just have to respect what was asked, which was the 7 to 1 or the 1 to 7. Now, you might say, I need to stay later than 1 because I still have to get a few of my things out of here. That's completely fine, and we're gonna know that at 1 o'clock, we're not gonna have that expectation that you're manning a table out there. And the way that we organize these tables is gonna have to be exceptionally clean, meaning like, it's gonna have to be very clear which table. So I'm gonna be asking Kim to please print out all teacher names and a nice big bold flashing. This is this classroom, we go to that table, and I can see the name right on top to grab it and hand it out if I need to. We're also gonna have to have, I don't know, throwaway pencils, pens for people to sign.
Can they sign those pencils?
What about the little minis from Sydney?
Well, we'll have
Oh,
to
yeah, the
have-
golf ones.
We'll have to have a pen to have a signature on there, but I'd say we just keep our Clorox wipes and wipe it solution.
Today and tomorrow, would it make sense for,
Oh, hang on just a second.
today and tomorrow, would it make sense for a lot of us to have radios on so that we can communicate inside the building?
Oh, that's an excellent idea.
Good
Thank
job,
you.
Laura.
Thank you.
That's great.
First one. If you have a radio, put it on you. If you see one, you're like, go ahead, put it on you. And then Ron, will you switch to 1? Thank you, sir. Here,
You're gonna have a lot of questions.
Ron knows.
Ron knows.
Ron knows.
No's don't matter. That is a good idea. Wipe your radio down. It has been, like, 5, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 4 days. Wipe it down. Your radio. That'll be up to 9.
Yeah, well, like, but then I'll, while I'm doing it, I'll just pretend to be alright.
Are there any last questions before Shelley?
Yeah, I know a lot of you wipe the devices down, but if you did not have the students do that before they left, if we could wipe them down, just because they're so gross, I'd hate for them to go home that dirty and translate. I mean, they're beyond disgusting. So again, Clorox wipes are fine, squeeze them out. If you need help with that, my daughter's here, she came just to help me out today, so I can have her come do some wiping if you need that, so just let somebody know if you need help wiping the devices down, because they didn't get done. Laura?
Gloves, are there gloves for anybody who wants to use them?
We do have gloves. We have either Ron or the health office has some.
I also
What?
have some. I have some.
I've got a lot of medium gloves. Let's just use mine because I benefit by going through some of them. That way the health office can have theirs, because they're.
Where will you have it located?
I'll bring them out to the pack. I'll bring out 2 boxes of, and you'll see them, they'll be very, you'll be able to see them.
Great, okay. We'd ask that you not use the lunch tables, don't even look at them.
Nothing.
Because top, bottom, under, and around are all clean and sanitized.
Let's get to work.
Our guidelines are in that piece of paper I gave you, just so everybody understands.
So everybody back up front. Okay, so these are the things that beginning on Thursday, running through the next week, these are going to be things that are going to be sanitized and deep cleaning in the schools. Light switches, door handles, drawer handles, cabinet handles, desks and table surfaces, handrails, chairs and benches, counters, ledges, bathroom surfaces and fixtures. We don't have locker rooms. Deep cleaning will be shelves, cabinets, cubbies, common areas.
Everybody that I work with has common sense, so you guys can take the stuff off. We're gonna see it's been taken off, you know, so you don't have to ask, should I move this, that? If you want it to where, yeah, it needs to be clean, we'll do it, because we'll see that it's been cleared off. So, I mean, we're just gonna go with that. There's a lot of common sense when it comes to it, so.
Ron, is there something as far as the commons that we can do?
Not really. I mean, we're gonna go through it. Everybody's commons is, in my opinion, pretty spectacular anyways, because there's not a lot of stuff there. So, I mean, we're just gonna go through and we will wipe all the tables, chairs, and then, like I said, at the end, when we have time, we're gonna prioritize carpet, stuff like that, getting stains, things like that. But right now, it's basically sanitizing every flat surface that everybody touches.
Stacey, will you hold this up for the camera? For those of you who don't have the benefit of what we were just Mrs. Gergetz just found this book in the library. Uncle, look, there you go, right there. So hold super still though, because you can't read it when it's playing.
10 easy steps.
So you have 10 easy steps on how to clean your room right here in our very own library.
Am I good? You're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Now I gotta wash my hands.
What do we do with those things?
Okay.
Like our calm ones.
At this point, this is what I would, I'll just wait. Oh, thank you. At this point, what I'd ask is that, not yet, but when I say, what's our magic word today?
Clean vodka.
No,
I'm sorry.
Our magic word is going to be clean. So when I use the magic word, we'll make sure we have the chairs back under where we needed to have them go. Please make sure that you're taking all your treasures with you. And then here's the last message that I'd like to leave you with that's ultra, uber important. Whether you know it or not, this is a highly stressful time. There's a lot of uncertainty, and that's even harder for teachers who are planners, right? Every one of you in here are in this building in a profession for a reason. So I say that to say, you know what? Take a breath. Give yourself permission if you need to say, you know what? I just need to sit for 5 minutes and not think about anything. Give yourself permission to feel the way you feel. Do not get sucked down the rabbit hole of what's out there on social media. Make sure that you're getting it from good, reliable sources. Be informed, but make sure it's good, reliable. Also, look out for the others around you, too. That means our community here. That means your neighbors at home. but that means you too. You can't take care of others if you can't take care of yourself first. So please make sure that you're doing that and watching out for you. I have you all in my prayers, and I have us in my prayers. And I want to make sure we stay safe. Most importantly, we need to know that we're not abandoning our children. We will give them the resources and the tools that they need. We're taking them one day at a time. Okay? Our magic word is clean.
So sorry. You want it sprayed down?
I mean, not really.
Good luck, everybody. Good luck, yes.
You get sprayed and then it sits on.
Have fun. How are you gonna
So I mean,
start?
it may not.
My room, I've never seen that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Step
like,
one,
what is
where-
that? 'Cause
But we can
Take a pour.
my room is
Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, I think, hey guys.
Step one.
Hush, little baby.
You know, our big thing is these lights are too white, that stuff down. Yeah, no, you're fine. We're in your room, we're gonna point them to that.
Oh, yeah.
Up a little bit, but for the most part,
Microwave can stay in.
right, who knows how that works for you?
Anthony is always.
And then we'll keep it away.
Because I don't want to take you in that situation too.
Something has to sit 10 minutes left for it to get back there. Then we have stuff that spray on to wipe off.
And if she does.
So we'll do it.
I understand one
There's books in them, that's the problem. If we're keeping books in metal shelves, then I have to clean them. And then if we do keep them in there, should we cover them like we used to do?
That's not, I mean, that's not something. We're gonna be clean, but we're not gonna.
Right, but I mean, in our room, we have to, metal
But it's gonna be, nobody's gonna be touching it for that 9 days.
Talking about that was here, done.
We have a black bookcase, you know, full of books.
You want them like that, you have to pull them.
Otherwise, they will be like, what if we cover it, are you gonna do like they do, like spray, like hazmat suits, like you're not doing that?
All my things say above the curtain.
And so we don't have to cover the bookcases then with paper?
And it's gonna be gone by the time we get back.
Yeah. The only thing you really need to do, like I said, if I see a shelf that's flat, you're gonna wipe it out. We might miss the book to where it's just basically the J512 sanitizer, so then we ruin the book.
Right.
So I'm gonna run this
But
right
we'll
now.
clear up the top, at least they wipe the top. Okay.
Any area of concern, we'll notice what you've got before you get to it. Right.
So the good news is we have to.
But not too much.
We're gonna have to come up with a plan for all the.
Okay. I'm gonna write that on the plan.
Something more specific you need us to do in kindergarten, you know, we have the toys and we have like the little, like I have my little book
I would
area
say,
and
like,
stuff.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to double check.
She sent someone in there.
I don't
just
want
stop
to.
and
Right, but she-
Yeah, we'll come up with a
What
decent
was
plan.
it?
It might take more effort,
It's fine, I
but all
said.
the toys.
keeps.
You draw those, right? You draw
That proxy is a word, like,
Those I would keep.
if they go for mandate decisions, you're going to share. Mom might be saying, she's gonna make decisions.
Yeah, but she's not.
Okay,
supposed to
we're
look
gonna
at
have
it.
No, but if the parents are saying it's just.
We're not.
Part of me doesn't want to make a big deal about it.
It's like some of them, we're able to get the bin stuff and all, run through the.
Okay, that's interesting.
You're not.
You do that?
Sometimes, sometimes, yeah. Just be- just to- But
you know,
like-
girls,
like-
we can-
She just wants to come, so part of me, I feel like I don't see like people on their research and things that I would like,
Right.
I just find that they feel like it's really no, it's
So,
but that don't count if neither parent is there. Oh, yeah. Like, up in the hospital and totally like,
So I'm gonna say LLC,
I'm worried about that because of the
Oh, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, I don't know how that
Or
works.
both of them would
Would,
but that's
Yeah, but.
The only reason why you vote to me was because we're at school.
I'm gonna take their name.
Yeah, they're working.
Right, trying to think,
They're all doing.
until we're back, the rest of the time.